Hi there, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Natasha. Welcome to my channel. This video is a favorites video and I'm going to be talking about mostly makeup favorites that I've just been loving recently and I cannot put down. In my head, I always assume that I do favorites videos on a somewhat regular basis, but I really don't. My most recent favorites video was a top 5 bottom 5 empties of 2021 that came out in January, and that was my 5 favorite and least favorite things that I used up over the course of the year. And that's not necessarily like a favorites video. And before that, I did a top 12 purchases of 2020. So I do have a favorites playlist, but it's not very updated. And I just wanted to sit down and talk about some products that I am just absolutely loving. I tried to keep it somewhat short. You'll find that I have a lot of lip products to talk about. This is like the year of lip products for me. But I'm gonna start with eyes, lips, face, and then I have 3 not makeup products that I'll talk about at the end. So for eye makeup, I only have one product and it is an eyeshadow palette that I recently purchased from Lethal Cosmetics. This was a build your own palette. I have gone on and on about this palette. I love the shades that I selected and the formulas, and I do have a video where I swatch everything and go into this palette with a lot more detail, so I will have that linked in the cards and the description box. But if I had to just choose 2 of my favorite shades from this palette, the ones that I use all the time, the first one would be Ceres here. This is a multi-chrome and it has a clear base, but then it has like a blue, green, multi shift to it that's just stunning. I love this on the inner corner. I love it all over the lid. It's just beautiful and I love it so much. It always makes my eye look so special and unique and I just love it. And then the other shade I really like is this one here at the bottom. This is Arcade and this has a peachy base, but then it has like a gold green shift to it. And it's just beautiful. I love this all over the lid. It's super brightening. It's super pretty and I'm just loving this palette so much. But if I had to choose 2 shades in particular, it would be those 2. Although Renegade is up there. That is also a really beautiful special shade too. This one has like a reddish purple base and then a green shift. No duds, really, but I wanted to have like 2 honorable mentions or 2 MVPs, and that would definitely be Ceres and Arcade. For lips, I have 5 products I want to talk about, so I'm going to try to go through them relatively quickly. I love them all so much for very different reasons, and the first one I'll talk about is one that's actually almost empty. It's a lip balm from Summer Fridays. It's the Lip Butter Balm in Vanilla, and I got a blister pack of this in like a gift with purchase from a Sephora order, and I loved that so much that it made me purchase the full size, which is not something that happens that often, and this is just so nice, especially over the winter or anytime I have like a weird reaction on my lips. Sometimes when I use too many lip products that have like a minty feeling to them, it really dries out and irritates the skin on my lips, and using something like this just really helps them heal. It's super thick, it doesn't taste like anything, it has a really subtle vanilla scent, and it's just amazing. I'm putting another one of these on my Christmas list because I don't want to be without this for too long, and this has just saved my lips. It's amazing, and I actually like it better than the NYX #This is everything lip loving balm. I've gone through tins of those. I still think that's a really great everyday lip balm, but this is like, if you need serious help, this is the place to start. Another lip balm that I love the texture for, and I think it's very nourishing and beautiful, and it just makes my lips look so healthy and plump, is this Maracuja Juicy Lip from Tarte. This is the shade Rose, and it's just a little tiny mini of it. This is almost empty. I'm kind of scooping out what's left in the tube to make sure I get everything out of it. This color is a really natural nude pink tone for me. It's very subtle. It's only just a hint of color, and they do have multiple color options, and I would very much like to get the full size of this soon. I don't know. I don't think that this is the best packaging for it because it's very soft and very rich, and so if you have just a little bit too much of it out of the packaging, it'll just come off completely on your lips and be a super chunky mess. It can get messy if you're not careful, and if you push too much product out, it's really hard to get it back in. I do not recommend the minty version of this, like the plumping version. That one is super minty and too strong. I don't recommend that at all. I just recommend the regular juicy lip formula. but this is awesome, and I plan on purchasing the full size at some point. If the Maracuja Juicy Lip is too expensive for you, but you still want like a beautiful lip balm that is very subtle hint of color and nourishing, I would definitely try this one out from CoverGirl. It's the Clean Fresh Lip Stilo, and I have the shade Sweet Melon. This one definitely looks like it's going to be a lot more pigmented in the tube, but on your lips it really doesn't have a ton of color payoff. I would be careful as well because I think some of these shades might be shimmery too. At least that's what it looked like on the website. It's weird because this isn't on the CoverGirl website, it's on the Ulta website, so I'm not sure how easily available this is, but I love it because it's nourishing, it's a little bit thicker but not too heavy if you don't like that sort of feeling, and it doesn't have any taste or smell, which is my preference with lip products. So this is just beautiful. It's not as nourishing as the Summer Fridays lip balm, but it is a really nice everyday lip balm to just throw in your backpack. This next one is a lip gloss stick from Ulta Beauty, and this is in the shade Chill Pill. Originally there were only 2 shades on the Ulta website, but I think they have 7 shades now, which is awesome to see. This one is a beautiful like deeper mauve nude for my skin tone. I love this color. It's a really great everyday color for me, but I also just really love how easy it is to apply. It's a stick and it is a little bit more glossy, so it's kind of hard to like mess up. And the formula is really lightweight. It is pigmented enough and has a little bit of a sheen to it to make your lips look really juicy, but it's not heavy, it's not goopy. And I just find that this color and this formula, it just makes me want to reach for it more and more. It goes with every eye look that I create pretty much. So this has been a staple for me, and I would love to get some more shades to try out from this line. And I do have a best and worst tinted lip balm lipstick hybrid video coming soon. I'm still doing some research on that, but I've been loving that type of formula lately, which is why I have so many to talk about. And yeah, I will be doing, I kind of want to purchase more. Like, I don't know when to stop. I think I have like 12 or 13 already, but there are just so many products like that out there on the market, and I feel like new ones are always coming out that I just need to like stop at some point, but I don't want to. I'm having so much fun. And the very last one is a lip product. I have talked about the NYX Lip Pencils before. Kelly Gooch also raves about these too, and I would normally pick Peekaboo Neutral as my most used shade, but a shade I've been using a lot recently is the shade Mauve, and this is a deeper kind of like purpley cool toned color, and I just find that I reach for this a lot more than I thought I would. Whenever I got it in the mail, I was like, oh, that's kind of deep. I will probably only be for like very specific looks, but no, I reach for this all the time. In general, I recommend the NYX Lip Pencils. They're like $3 or $4. They have a ton of shade options. I have like 12 or 13 of them at this point. I think they're great. I have 3 face products to talk about, and then I have 1 skincare product and then 2 perfumes. So the first one I want to talk about is this concealer from Makeup Revolution. It's the Eye Bright Illuminating Under Eye Concealer in the shade Light, and I bought this on clearance for like $5. I don't know, earlier this year or maybe later last year. And I at first was like, oh, this isn't very high coverage. I don't know if I'm really gonna love this, but I actually ended up falling in love with this. I think this is an amazing formula. I think it's a hidden gem at the drugstore. I don't know why people don't talk about it enough. I imagine that this is probably kind of like a dupe for the concealer from Charlotte Tilbury in this packaging. This is just the most beautiful formula, and it is not the highest amount of coverage, but if you can believe, sometimes I don't go for that look. It's not every day, but on days when I want to have a little bit less makeup on my face, maybe I'm going for a more natural look, or I just want to kind of like touch up some things on my face, or just add a little bit of concealer around my nose or on my under eyes, just to like brighten those areas without necessarily putting on a full face. This is the product to use. You can use this on your bare skin, just in certain parts, let it dry for a second, and then pat it in with your fingers, and it looks amazing. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. Something in this just melts in so beautifully with my skin on my under eyes and in certain parts of my face. Like, I'll put a little bit on my cheeks to cover up some scarring, and then some under my eyes, and then like around my nose and maybe on my chin. Like, I can pretty much put this all over my face and then, you know, let it sit for a sec, pat it in with my fingers, and it really doesn't look like I'm wearing anything, but my skin just looks so much more perfected. There's a tiny bit of like a natural sheen in here. It's super light lightweight, super watery. If you let it sit for a couple seconds to dry and then pat it in with your fingers, that's the best way to apply it that I have found. And I just adore this. I adore this. Another cheek product I'm really loving is this cream blush from Tarte. This is in the shade Pink Sky. And I think what I love so much about this formula is, I mean, the color and the undertone is really great. It is a beautiful, like natural flush color for me. But this has like a slightly more matte finish. I have a couple other cream blushes in my collection. I have one from Merit, and I think that might be it actually. The one from Merit is a lot more natural. Like it has a lot more of a sheen to it, and it's just a little bit more glowy. It's not like a shiny or shimmery product at all, but just something in the formula just does leave your cheeks very like creamy and glowy. This one has a little bit more of like a matte finish. It definitely doesn't look matte on your face. I don't know how to explain it. I just think it goes a lot more naturally with my natural skin finish. Anyway, something in this formula is just super buildable. You can blend it out really easily, but it doesn't blend away into nothing. And I do use this as a regular cream blush, but one of my favorite ways to apply this is right at the end after I've done all of my makeup. If I find I want just a little bit more of a natural, subtle flush right here on the tops of my cheekbones, I'll go in with a sponge or my fingers or a brush. Like you can really use this anyway, and I'll just tap it right there, and it just looks so natural and so beautiful. And I'm just really pleasantly surprised with this. Even though this is the mini version, this is going to take me forever to go through, and I love it. Every time I wear it, I just love how my cheeks look. Another cheek product I get so excited about and I love every time I wear it is the Beauty Light one from Charlotte Tilbury in the shade Spotlight. I would love to get the Flower Beauty version of this, especially if it's a dupe like everybody says it is. If you're on a budget, you don't want to spend the $40 on this, I completely understand, but this is the only one that I have and I love it. Every time I wear it, I just feel amazing. I just feel so glowy and ethereal, and I wore this on my wedding day, and I went back and I watched the little highlight video that our videographer put together for us. And in one of the shots, I like turned my head during one of the speeches, and my cheeks look amazing. I was like, wow, I paused and I was like, this looks so good. And even if I'm wearing like very little makeup or if I have a full face of makeup, just tapping a tiny bit of this right on the high points of my cheekbones just creates such a stunning visual. It looks great in person, it looks great on camera. And it's just one of my favorite products, and what I love so much about it is that it's very liquidy. It's a very, very thin formula, so it dries down and it doesn't stay sticky. It won't disrupt the makeup underneath. And even though I do slightly hesitate to recommend this because it's so expensive, you really only need the tiniest little bit to make a huge impact. So I've reached for this a ton, and I'm only just now starting to make a dent. This is special. It's stunning. I love having it. I bring it with me when I travel because I just know like this is just a staple that looks so good. I can't say that I wear it every single day because I am still kind of precious with it because it's very expensive. But I love it so much that I recently made an order and purchased the Pinkgasm and the Pillow Talk version of this as well, because I've used up the Peachgasm one. I know it's a formula that I love, and these types of products just look so good on the skin. If Flower Beauty ends up making dupes for this, and they are dupes, I'm gonna be so excited. I'm gonna like double my collection of these because they're so wonderful, and I want like every color. Now for my 3 non-makeup products, the first one I want to talk about is Almost Empty. It's a mini of the Paula's Choice 2% BHA liquid exfoliant. This is something that I put a little like dime nickel sized amount in the palm of my hands, rub it between my hands, and then pat it on my skin and let it dry. And I don't use it too often. I use it like maybe once a week, probably less often, really anytime that I feel like I need it. And the next day my skin just looks so much nicer. Any dead skin buildup, any texture that I have on my skin is just smoothed out. It's super gentle. Like I said, I don't use it all the time. I don't imagine it's something I would want to use like multiple times a week. I don't think that that is probably the best choice either, but this is like a cult product. People rave about this and they have for years, and I completely understand why. I do have a glow tonic from Pixi that I'm going through, but once I'm finished with that one, I will definitely be purchasing the full size of this because this is beautiful. It's one of the few skincare products that I use and I see an immediate result. And the last two products I'm going to talk about are perfumes. They are really great for the summertime, but I do find myself just reaching for them whenever. I think they're both amazing in their own ways. So the first one I want to talk about is the Ariel perfume by a brand called Define Me. This, I mean, number one, the bottle is super cute. It has beautiful blue, purple, green iridescent packaging. It has like a little mermaid fin on the bottom. Then it has a cute seashell lid, and I don't know if you can see from the camera there, but I'm actually down to here. I don't have a ton left. And this does sometimes go on sale. Full price it's $88, but I've seen it go on sale for like $20 or $30 off on the Ulta website. And I'm not really the best at describing scents, so I'm just gonna read some of the notes and descriptions from the website. This scent is meant to evoke Ariel's sense of wanderlust, starting with a splash of citrusy, neroli, and bergamot, flowing into sweet floral notes of jasmine and lilac, then crashing with a beachy blend of tonka bean, coconut, and driftwood. And this is such a wonderful, it's not beachy by any means. It's not like it smells sunscreeny or anything. It just has such a beautiful, like, light summery scent. If you are the type of person who gets overwhelmed easily by fragrances, maybe you get headaches really easily, or you just get sick of really, really heavy scents, this is a great thing to try out because it's very subtle. It still has good lasting power and it does still cling onto my clothes, but it's not a very heavy, powerful scent. It's got like a beautiful subtlety to it. I really have never smelled anything like this before. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. I just think it's so wonderful. And the next one is definitely a stronger scent. It's from a brand called Penrose and it is Sun Saint. And I would very much like to try some other scents from this brand. Again, I'm gonna read the description from the website. It is in the fresh citrus and fruits family. And the top notes are lime, eucalyptus, mandarin, and yuzu. The heart is sea salt, cashmere musk, and violet. The dry down is coconut wood and sandalwood. And this is another product that I got a little like fragrance wipe of it in a Sephora order or in some order, and I loved the scent so much that I purchased the full size. Like I said, it doesn't happen very often, but when I find something that I really like, it's like I know I'm gonna love it. So this is great. I am kind of like halfway through the bottle at this point. This one is a stronger scent and this one will last longer, but again, I don't think it's too heavy. I reach for this all the time. I love it. These are like my signature scents for this time of year. So those were all the favorites I wanted to talk about today. Let me know what some of your favorite products are, especially if they're like new releases. But even if they are just old favorites, I'd love to still hear about them. And I will try to do these videos with a little bit more regularity. I don't bring in so much makeup that I could do like a monthly favorites video, but maybe every couple of months, maybe at the end of every season. These products were a little bit more summery. Maybe I can do one at the end of autumn talking about what I loved reaching for during that time of year. But I have been having trouble sticking to any sort of schedule, so no promises, but I will try to do one sooner than 8 months from now. I hope you enjoyed learning about some of my favorites, but in the meantime, that's everything I have. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in my next video.